People of the Purple Butterfly here, otherwise known as People7 on Twitter and YouTube, people elsewhere on the internet. My soaps look at purplebutterfly-soaps.myshopify.com, my blog, purplebutterfly-people.blogspot.com. And this is a slightly different setup, as you can see. I put the tripod on my table, and I got the phone aimed at the work area. Um, I'm trying to make sure that everything is in frame, and I'm going to make another double batch. One is going to be iced gingerbread man. It tends to accelerate. I'm going to use up this entire the entire container that's left over of the fragrance oil, so that way I never have to make that soap ever again. And the other is going to be apple orchard. It's going to be a tiger stripe with an arbitrary purple stripe. The colors are going to be green, red, yellow. Let me move the live water out my way. Yeah, we don't want to burn ourselves. Green, red, yellow, and a purple stripe. As one person put it, yeah, I know there's no such thing as a purple apple, but she loves them, so yeah. And a tiger stripe has been known to be different stripes, with one stripe in the center that's called an arbitrary stripe. And that's when I remembered about the arbitrary stripe when we had that conversation. In the meantime, these are last. When those are gone, I will be switching over to this, prescribed by my doctor. So yeah, and apparently it comes in a format that can fit in a purse, so that way when you need a little dash of nicotine, boom, you got it. These are lozenges. First he tried me on the gum, but that kept sticking to my dental work, and I mean sticking in a bad way. It was like, instead of sticking to your teeth when you chew, it would stick to like the roof of my mouth, and then by the time you try to get it off of the roof of your mouth, it's trying to go down your throat. Almost made me choke. So I explained that situation. He said, oh, we could try you on the candy. And I went, cool. So that seemed all well and good until they sent cinnamon candy that had natural and artificial cinnamon, and I happen to be allergic to cinnamon. So yeah, whose idea was that? But they did allow me to exchange it, so that worked out. I will be right back. Okay. I heated that up too good this time. That's very, very hot. 64-ounce batch. So yeah, we're gonna let that just kind of drain in there. Then I'm going to set up the other one, so I can pour 44 ounces of a different oil. This is the recipe I use for a vegan swirl.
just a little over, so let's put that out of there. Okay,
44 inches, 44 ounces rather. Now we want to let that drain. I need a spatula. Actually, in anticipation of what this particular fragrance oil do, I took out a couple of things. More than one spatula and my silicone coated whisk. I'm thinking if it acts like it doesn't want to set up with the blender, a whisk will work. Any other soap that doesn't blend directly in before seizing up, that'll just be frosting. Enough of the batch will have the scent, and it'll be rather evident because this fragrance oil turns the soap brown. You know, the same discoloration effect that I get with the 7-Up pound cake, the vanilla cake, all of the cake soaps. Well, the Gingerbread Man does the same thing, but last time I barely got the swirl in before it seized. The fact that it came out with a pattern was a miracle in itself. And the only reason that soap had color was I colored some plain soap and then just swirled it through, so that way, because otherwise the whole thing would have been brown, and that includes, you know, the colors I added. So, yeah. Gotta get every little drop. That's too hot. Okay. So I did decide to keep these bowls, but no longer for blending soap in because the volume is just not big enough. So I've been using my large pitcher. I mean, for a real small batch, those will do fine, but when I'm making, well, basically 4 pounds of soap or more, it's just not a good measure. Let's see, first of all, let's measure that. 122 degrees. 88. So the live water is at the proper temperature, but we have to bring those oils down. Not surprised because I did heat it up in the microwave, but usually I time it better, and when I pour the 44 ounces of liquid oil in there, it literally has that cooling effect where it comes down to the proper temperature immediately. But I'm a human. I don't do things exactly perfectly every time, so there is that. There's the green I need. This is an amazing scent, but it can't be used in CP soap. It said not recommended for CP soap, so I was thinking, oh, I could use it in hot process, or I could use it in, and I was looking for all the other applications I could use that color in, the scent rather, and then I learned that it has a warning that says do not use in hot process, do not use in cold process. Basically, don't use it. So that basically meant that using it for a lotion, not going to do that either. So yeah. Do I have an apple red anywhere? So that's how that worked out. Hey, my titanium dioxide is struggling all over stuff. Well, so I figure use it as an air freshener. I don't make candles, so it wouldn't even bother me to try to make a candle out of it because I don't know how to make a candle. I know how to ruin candles. I know how to mess that up completely, but I don't know how to make a candle. And I speak from experience. Okay. Bright yellow rain jacket is going to represent the yellow apple. I'm only going to put 1 scoop since this is half a batch. Well, it's a split batch, but it's going in one mode, so I don't need it to be quite as intense as normal. And that color tends to be real bright, which means then it won't look like an apple, it will look like his name, which is actually called bright yellow raincoat. So yeah, and then we're going to put a scoop of maniacal pea in here, or as much of a scoop as I can get, seeing how apparently I have used this color enough to be running out, which is fascinating because I generally don't like green, and I generally don't use green for a lot of things. So for me to run out of green means I must have been using green a lot. Okay, and then we're going to put in the purple. I'm going to move this out the way. And I don't mind if the purple is a little bright because Pow Pow Purple tends to morph from a violet to a blue violet to a bluish color to a vibrant purple. Depends on its mood. This is Voodoo Red and Love Bite Pink. Together they're going to give me an apple color. Hopefully. This is more of a muted pink. this is technically a pink as well, but it's more in the red family. I had some Brambleberry red, but it got ghost on me apparently. So, yeah. Okay. Now, I ought to make a soap that looks like this scoop. Look at that, it's like a play on colors. But no, we won't do that this time. In the meantime, I'm going to take my other scoop and I'm going to use it to play the oils. I should have brought over a skewer. You always want the oils for your mica to come from your total oil weight or your total water weight. In other words, don't go adding extra oil because that'll throw off your measurements. Use the oil that came out of your soap pot that you've already measured, so that way it's already part of the equation. If that makes sense. It makes sense, but I don't think I explained it properly. Yeah. And that happens. Even 9 o'clock at night, I am not my best when it's late. But Natalie D was on, and then I watched some Mike and a couple of my other favorites, Charlotte Joe Bray, and yeah. While everybody else goes out for Friday, I had me a soap planning session and a video party, shall we say. And I talked to one of my neighbors. She didn't know I had a YouTube channel, so if she shows up, hey, how you doing, neighbor? In the meantime, Walmart apparently is having a sale on socks, 10 packs for $1. And some of them were like 4 packs for $1. Basically, you can get your entire sock wardrobe situation settled for $1 each. And I'm like, what Walgreens is that? Well, Walmart is this, and I almost got in my car right then and there to go get it. And I said, no, I'm going to go tomorrow, though. Most of them were kid size. I can't do anything with kid size. I have boats. My feet are wide, they are long, and they are large. And she goes, it was so cute. And she goes, I don't have a small foot. See, I got a size 8. Yeah, right. A size 8 is not a large foot. I wear a 9.5B. And then all these companies think the dregs of Shoe Society is supposed to live at 9.5B. One day, go to any shoe store and look at how many shoes they have for particular sizes. I mean, if you wear a size 6 or a size 7, you might have 6 or 7 rows of shoes in your size. If you were 8, you might have some shoes in your size. If you wear a 10, you might have some shoes in your size. Not a lot. Maybe, 3 rows. But if you wear a 9 and a 9.5, you might have this section of the store in your size, and they be the ugliest shoes that ever was invented. Like, oh, you got that weird shoe size. You don't need to be stylish. Let's just put all the ugly shoes right there. That's why I switched to boots. I can always find boots in my size. But on the few occasions I need shoes, come to find out, most of the shoes that you can't find in your size at the stores, you can find online. So that's how I do shoes. A few times I do shoes. That's also how I do gym shoes. I could never find a 9.5B in gym shoes, and I like Pumas. But if I go to Puma.com or, online places that sell Puma, boom, they got 9.5B all day long. Every style, every length. You could get high tops, you could get boots, you can get low tops, you can get sandals, all of them in my size. And then people wonder why I don't like the malls. And if you've ever watched my videos, especially the ones from way back when, y'all know I don't do malls if I can help it. I mean, it has to be a funeral or a wedding or something that I need to find clothes right now before I do malls. And even then, I ain't real happy about having to go to the mall. Okay, that little tinge of red popped that yellow. Now it definitely looks like an apple. And then this little bit of yellow is going to enhance this green. And then the purple is just going to get taken over by, well, all these colors are going to get taken over by the purple because purple is boss. It takes over everything. So that takes care of the apples, and what's left of after I pour the stripe will go into the Gingerbread Man on top, so it'll still have some kind of swirl, I'm thinking. But yeah, let me get the mica off my coffee cup. Because mica in oil, mica in water, mica in soaps wash right off, but you put it on a coffee cup and transfer it to your house to drink coffee or whatever, and you end up with it on something made of cloth, like your couch, and it's on there forever until you wash it. And seeing how the average couch, I mean, I do keep a throw over my favorite chair, but you have to do upholstery cleaning, and that's expensive, which means it don't get done. Unless you do it by hand, and then you have to worry about trying to get the soap out, because when you wash things by hand, especially if it's a couch, a chair, or whatever, you can clean it, but the rinsing process, you're never quite sure you got all of the soap out until you've already cleaned it 6 or 7 more times. Let me test something. Yes, that is plugged up. Cool. I need the other blade. Hold on. I'm also going to need the blender. Strainer. Okay, the aphasia is back and it's kicking my butt. Okay, so I'm thinking this blade will be for the apple orchard, that blade will be for the Gingerbread Man. And while I'm talking, I need to go get those scents. Otherwise, this will be a double batch of unscented soap, and that is not what we're going for today. It's good. The heat finally kicked in. It has been hot, cold, for the better part of a week in Cincinnati. That happens. But today it rained. It got down to the 40s. It got up to the 60s. It hung out at 55. And that's fine. All this time I haven't had to turn on the heat. Today I had to turn on the heat. And apparently everybody else had to turn on the heat, so it was a little sluggish at best getting it going. So I threw on this sweater, Indian sandalwood. Oh yeah, sandalwood is back, but it's in a different format now. Sandalwood is now Indian sandalwood. It used to be Hawaiian sandalwood, but apparently they're not making it anymore. This is the last of the juniper and aloe. I just sold the last bar of that the other day. So we're going to have to make this last little bit. And this was a limited edition when I bought it from Elements, bathandbody.com. They said they weren't making it anymore. In fact, they went to selling Bath and Body products exclusively instead of selling ingredients for you to make Bath and Body products. And I've been holding on to that scent for almost 5 years. And basically what I did, I measured it out and I put this much in a soap, I put this much in a soap. So basically I made it a third. So this last little bit will be the last of that fragrance that I can make a soap in, unless I happen to find a dupe of that scent anywhere. This is the Iced Gingerbread Man. You see the color of that fragrance oil? That's what it does to soap. And I defeated myself. I was surprised it seized up in the soap, but look, you see that X? I put X's on my fragrance oils that don't work with CP soap. That's my signal to not use it. So of course I go and make a batch of CP soap, and I'm surprised it freezed up on me. I need to get another signal to myself. But anyway, this was a 4-ounce bottle. I used that much of it, which was 2 ounces. So I'm just going to put this whole thing in there. It's going to be a dark brown, but I will never have to deal with this particular fragrance oil ever again. It says vanilla vanilla neutralizer required for lotion. Yes. I can tell you right now, vanilla stabilizer, vanilla neutralizer does not work on this product. Because otherwise, Gingerbread Man would have been a different color. And I just lied. I used this much the first time, and it turned the soap brown, and including the colors, and then I used that much, and that's when I knew to put half of it unscented with the other half, and that's when I slanted the swirl. That came out rather well, but yeah. And oh, I didn't even take out the apple orchard. And all I can smell right now is the Iced Gingerbread Man. Vanilla orchard, vanilla orchard. Oh, wait a minute, I just thought about something. Lavender flowers. If I have one scent that I'm thinking of. Yes, I could make some Slam. Slam is a scent, we call it Smells Like a Man, Slam, that I kind of invented by mixing the few fragrances I had when I first started, and I didn't have enough, so I just mixed everything together and said, how's it smell? And the answer was, it smells like a man. I was like, then that's what we're going to call it, and that's how Slam came into existence. But I gotta find the other component of basil sage mint. But where's my lavender sage? Okay. Actually, I have a small thing of apple orchard. Ooh, there's fresh cut roses. Okay. We're gonna remember that's in there. Somebody's gonna want a rose scented soap. Apple orchard. I knew I had a small one. Okay. That will make things a little easier when it comes to situating all of this together. There. Now. Oh yeah. Apple orchard is a tripod. It ain't today. Apple orchard is now a tiger stripe swirl. I even made a notation about Hawaiian sandalwood there. Okay, that can go there for now. That is still hot. These I'm going to put up while I'm thinking about it, so that way I regain the room. We're going to test the temperatures of that. 109. Still got some time to go. So, I'm going to put all these up. Actually, I'm going to find a larger box for the colorants, so that way. And this is a bag of scents I thought was missing. That's the Perfect Man, Alpine Snowdrift, Ocean Waves, Animalistic Instinct, and Pheromones. These, I don't know where they went, but they just showed up when I was setting this all up, and every scent I just named, you're probably going, that sounds familiar. Yeah, that last nose party, I had just bought some more of those because I thought, did they mess up my order? Did I forget to order it? Blah, blah, blah. I forgot. I actually ordered it and put it up, and then I apparently forgot it existed. So, yeah. In the meantime, we need to adjust this. This is going to need to be over here. This needs to be over here. This is going to have to come forward. We're going to put this and this right here. Okay. Now we're going to put that on paper towel so it could absorb all that oil. That can go right there. This could be centered. I am still primarily left-handed, but the blender is plugged up over there, so basically I can't blend from this angle. I have to blend from this angle, so everything that's going to go in here needs to be connected to the blender there, when this goes in, this can go over there, out the way, at which time these will come into play. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, because I remember this soap will seize. The iced gingerbread man of it all, anyway, will seize up. So man, that smells good. Even from this distance, I can smell that. But I'm going to pour this right through the center there. And let it drain. So then when I blend up the soap, I'm just going to immediately pour it in here, blend it, and then the rest is going to go into the Tiger Swirl. At which point in time the scent will go in, because I'm basically working in a way where all the soap is unscented until it needs to be scented. That probably didn't make sense the way I said it. But I just poured this dark brown fragrance oil in there, and I'm going to put the live water in with the soap. That makes an unscented batch. Then I'm going to immediately pour the emulsified, because I ain't going to take it past, I'm not going to take it completely to trace. It's going to be just emulsification. Pour that in here. This fragrance oil seizes soap. So basically it's just going to get stirred in really quickly to the point where it turns brown or mixes in or whatever it's going to do. It's going to immediately start to set up. At that point, I'm just going to be concentrating on this batch, adding the colors, but before I add the colors, this fragrance oil goes in, and then we'll do the swirl, and it goes in this mode. So, yeah. Because I am not even a little tempted to try another tilted or slanted swirl with this fragrance oil. It was stressful enough the first time. I did record that. Look up Ice Gingerbread Man. I used True Yellow, titanium dioxide, Black Star Red, which I thought was red, and it turned out to be a dark brownish red, and a couple other colors. Patagonian purple, which turned out to turn the soap cranberry, because TKB is lousy for morphing, but that's a company that makes micas for not only soaping but for cosmetic use and for eyeshadow, so forth, so on. So they give you the stats where it says not stable for high pH environments, in other words, CP soap, lie. When they say not stable for a high pH environment, that means you can still use it in HP because the color and the scent is added after the cook. But if you're doing a hot process, then you're just kind of out of luck. So actually, instead of throwing that immediately in the garbage can, we're just going to put it right here where the name is going to be next to the picture. So actually, I'm just going to put it over here. That way, when it's time to take the picture, I can grab it. And same thing with that. But, actually, I could put all the color and all the scent in the color cups. But do I want to do that? because if I want to put any of the extra in here as a frosting, then it's going to have a scent that contradicts. So, yeah, I think we'll just stick with our regular plan. Let me finish this coffee. I am going to let this cool down. I'm going to go adjust my temperature control because by now I'm sweating, so I need to take this off. I was chilly all day, so I put the sweater on, but the heat is working now. And then I'm going to bring you back. Enjoy one of these since my days of being a smoker is numbered. And when I bring you back, we'll get this soap made. So we can call this video preparation. Now the scent boxes are really heavy. They need to actually be in a bigger box as well. And maybe a different location, because hoisting that over my shoulder to put it in the overhead cabinet, that was a little, I feel like I pulled something. But, you know, that's a box that's heavy. All those fragrance oils are liquid. If you've ever picked up something liquid, the weight of it is just too much. I just bought olive oil because this was missing. So you can sit right here with your friend. Here you go. Whew. And on top of that, I still tell people, I take oil donations. If you want to donate some coconut oil or some lard or some olive oil or some canola oil, hit me up. Yeah, that's a joke, but not really. Because I'm not going to ever run out of the need for oil as long as I make soap. Good example. This is the oil I just bought, and as you can tell, I used almost half of it for this soap. Soaping is not a cheap hobby. When you buy soap, you're basically supporting the soaping habit. I'm not going to become a millionaire making soaps. It pays for making the soaps. I get joy out of making the soaps and giving the soaps and, you know, watching people's face light up when they use one of my soaps. But yeah, if I wanted to be a soaper, famous, you know, raking in the cash or whatever, I would go to work for P&G, because then you have that experience because they sell billions of bars of soap. I actually worked for P&G at one point in time. Didn't do any formulations or anything like that. Didn't make soap there. I basically did this on a computer all day. And typed in a bunch of data processing numbers. It was so boring. I typed 75 words a minute. At least I did at that point in time. They want someone that did data processing at a rate of 8,000 characters. And I don't even know what that is because I wasn't a data processing person. So I'm sitting here using both hands to type numbers. No, you have to use this part of the keyboard and just this finger. Or these two fingers. I don't do that. I was never a, you know, if the old-timey keyboards had the QWERTY or Q,
the home row spelled QWERTY, unless you had a Durvac machine. Well, they had a separate number pad for people that did data processing, and they're doing this with the keypad. I didn't learn that method. I was a typist. I did word processing. So then someone's going to fuss at me about a keyboard when they didn't hire me as a keyer. It's like, I'm not a data processor. You hired a word processor. Good thing that job was a contract job, because I just basically went to my supervisor and said, listen, I'm under contract. You hired me as a contractor. If you're not going to use me for the position that I'm qualified for, then either y'all are going to have to put me in that position, or, we could change out my contract. And that's what we did. They were actually restructuring that entire office at the time. Half the time, all the work I did went to big packaged up to send to Costa Rica, because they was moving the office down to Costa Rica. They were buying out people that had been in that position, in that department for years. So these people, a lot of them got instant retirement, and they hired a bunch of us contractors to take over those positions when people were leaving, which is how I ended up in a keyboard data entry position when I'm not a data entry processor. It's like, really? So, yeah. And then it was like, well, your contract is up on the 22nd, but can we keep you till the 30th? I was like, well, that brings us into the next phase of the contract, which means that's a pay raise. And she made me a deal. She goes, how about this would be the amount of money you could walk out the door with, and your contract will be over. We'll give a glowing review to your employer, blah, blah, blah. I was like, bet. I said, but can I type everything the way I was trained? If my accuracy suffers, I'll do it your way. I typed everything on the keyboard, home row and everything, perfectly. It's like, well, you actually did that faster than the data entry operator. I said, because I'm a typist. I'm using the typewriter. I can't use the keypad thing. It was like 2 weeks of trying to explain to someone, I'm not a data entry person. You hired a word processor. And then the last 2 weeks, they let me do it my way and were impressed. But it's like, really, did either one of us need the aggravation that it took to get here? I was so happy to leave that job. Right after that, I did census and enumeration. I was always outside in my car, meeting a bunch of people. And I went, I can do this forever. Well, the census is only a couple of weeks every 10 years. But right after that, I became a school bus driver. I actually applied at Peterman for a secretarial position. She goes, no. We're not looking for secretaries. We're looking for drivers. I'm the secretary. I went, oh, sorry, ma'am. I wasn't trying to offend you or nothing. And she goes, but you have a perfect driving record or near perfect driving record. You need to talk to Bill. Okay, who's Bill? Bill Settle, the owner of the company. Did an interview with him literally on the spot. I said, hi, I'm Kay Peoples. He goes, I'm Bill Settle. And after I got the job, I was like, hey, Bill, how you doing? You call him Bill? I was like, well, yeah, that's his name. Well, everybody else here calls him Mr. Settle. I never knew his name was Settle. It's like, he introduced himself, the name went in, wandered around, didn't connect with nothing, wandered back out, and he said, call me Bill, so I called him Bill. But anyway, I've rambled on enough. The coffee is taking effect. This is not warm enough, or cool enough rather, and I'm going to have a cigarette 102. And wait till this cools down. Put this plan of action in effect. I'm thinking right after I pour this, then pour all of these. There's not going to be any white in the tiger stripe. It's just going to be color, 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 color. So I won't need this bucket. So then all of a sudden I'll have extra room. Because once this go in, then that pot goes in the sink. I made dishwater ahead of time. Hot dishwater, so it's probably still hot. And then when I pour this and then pour those, then this goes out the way, then this comes over here, so that way. Do you get the impression I've worked in small areas before? I use the soap in 18 inches of space, as in this much room, literally on a countertop. And then when I went upstairs to my soap lab, it was just 18 inches of space because I only had like a little teeny table. Now I had this big table, but part of that's my dinner table, and you know, I could actually use all of this table. I mean, I have the cutting board here. I have, you know, all this room, but the camera's only going from right here to here. So I'm just going to go back to the 18 inches of space routine so that way you can see everything. And I'm going to put my hand right here. Yeah. You can see my hand here. That means you can see the color pots and everything. So, yeah. Or I might have to bring it up a little, but I'm going to make sure you see everything I do. Bye now. This has been P+7 on Twitter and YouTube. I just look like a P+ elsewhere on the internet. My soaps located PurpleButterfly soaps.myshopify.com, my blog, PurpleButterfly-people.blogspot.com. Y'all stay blessed, stay safe. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I think this is going to be 2 different videos because right now I think I'm at an hour. Hold on. Yeah, 53 minutes. So to make another hour of just the soaping, that might be annoying. So it's going to be in 2 sections. If the soaping goes the way I think it is, it's only going to take me 30 minutes, and that'll be an hour and a half. So then I'll just attach it. But if it's going to be longer than that, then it's going to be 2 separate videos. So bye now. People of the Purple Butterfly here, otherwise known as P+7 on Twitter and YouTube, People elsewhere on the internet. My soaps located PurpleButterfly-soaps.myshopify.com, my blog, PurpleButterfly-people.blogspot.com. And I went on ahead and put on my pajamas because I am not trying to be uncomfortable or restrained in any way for what I intend to do. So, yeah. This is going to be the Apple Orchard Swirl. This is going to be the Gingerbread Man. And I just seen that some of it didn't quite, you know, make it all the way out of there. So we're going to encourage it to do so. Because this is the last time I'm making this particular soap. So it's going to be full strength on the scent. Yeah. Come out of there. This scent will cease, which is why I got it in the mold itself instead of in the pot pour to do a swirl, because, yeah. The first time I tried to make this soap, it seized. It took over the colors that I'd chosen, so you didn't see colors at all. All you seen was brown. The second time I swirled the colors as plain soap and did a tilt. I don't have the caterpillar tool anymore. I need to buy another one. So I can't tilt it without arching it up on towels and stuff, and that's just a little annoying, because when you're using towels, then when you need to slowly tilt it back, it doesn't quite cooperate. It gets bumpy. It can disturb your swirl or your design. So we're just gonna do this plain. The fans of Ice Gingerbread Man will understand. And people have already expressed the fact that they want one. They want one. This will make 9 of them. And if they want it, with this being the last time I make this particular scent, they better get it. The tiger stripe is going to be red, green. That red came out nice. And yellow with an arbitrary purple. And I'm going to take the time to explain exactly how the tiger stripe works. So basically I'm going to put this soap together now. And then we're going to move this over into its place. So that way I can mix all the colors up and have it in a format you can see. In the meantime, let's go ahead and put that together. Oh, I need my shield on. Hold on. It's been my experience that 4 and 5 pounds of soap at one time tends to splash when you mix it together. That can go directly in the sink. This is going to be just past emulsification. Oh, I didn't check the temperature of that. 97. Okay, I'm going. I'm trying to get to just past emulsion, but this is kind of accelerating. In other words, no oil slick on the top. Almost there. Close enough. Okay. Now we're going to just pour this right on in. We're going to stir by hand. That's splashing a little, so we're just going to use the blender. It's already starting to see how thick that got? Told you, this soap will seize up with this particular fragrance oil. I seen it coming. And the apple orchard just escaped. Yeah. See, that would have been soap on a stick if I put it through the main batch. Okay, okay. Now we're going to put that right there for now. See that? That's hard already. I can't even stir that anymore. Let's try to get the soap flat with the, yeah, I know what I mean. Try to get it smooth anyway. That went solid quick. There's no need to even do this, but yeah. There we go. Now it's at a very, very light trace. And we bring in the colors. A lot of soapers forget to scrape the sides of the soap pot. And then they wonder, how come my measurements didn't come out right? Well, the size of a soap pot can actually hold another 8 to 16 ounces of soap. Depending on how big the batch is. So always scrape the sides of your soap pot well. There we go. this off now. We're going to put this right here. Scraping the bottom, making sure I got all the color mixed into the soap. Because as you can tell, I'm stirring by hand. I do not want it to accelerate to the point where the trace speeds up, because this is an intense swirl and I'm not using lard with this batch. If I was using lard, I could just work as long as I needed to. I think I'm about to run out of memory, but with it being a vegan base, it sets up faster than a lard base. So I'm stirring it by hand. Wow, that is pretty red. Kind of looks like an apple, yes. Now we're using my smallest silicone covered whisk. Yeah. Ran out of memory, had to clear out some stuff right quick. The soap hasn't thickened up yet, so let's explain how a tiger swirl works. Well, first let me move, yeah, so I can see what I'm doing. You're going to make a straight line down the soap, and all the colors are going to go in that same straight line. As you're pouring in that same straight line, the rest of the soap is going to bevel out, so you end up with a drop that, you know, ends up in the middle of the bar and makes this amazing pattern called a tiger stripe swirl. The tiger literally bends in. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Actually, that needs to be blended a little more. Definitely gonna make sure the red's blended, because there's two colors in this red. And since I associate apples with red, that's gonna be the first color. Yeah. Although you probably won't be able to tell because it's gonna spread out since it's the first color. Ah, perfect. Then the next color goes right on top of the first color. Let's see if I can move you where you can see. Hopefully you can see that. Actually, if I move this over, you might be able to see better. There. And then the second color goes right on top of the first color, if you're lucky. But if you hit something the way I just did, it's not going to come out well. Let's move that out my way. Okay, so we did red, we did yellow, next is green. No, next is neutralization. I got lye on my arm. So give me a minute. Easter egg. And that's another reason why you're supposed to wear long sleeves when you soak. Okay, so we did red, we did yellow, we did green. The purple comes in later. So now we're going to do red. Then yellow. You're aiming to go right down the center, but that doesn't always happen. Then green. Then red. Then yellow. Then green. Can you still see? Okay. Then red. Then yellow. Just move these completely out my way, and then I won't have a problem. Then green. That's the only one that came out perfect. But as you can tell, the sides are looking a little wonky right now. Then red. Then yellow. Then green. Then red. Then yellow. Then green. That would have been a real good catch. Yeah. Okay. Come off of there. It still works. Okay. There. That's the first time that ever stuck like that. All I can smell is the Gingerbread Man. Oh, I didn't add the fragrance. This is going to be interesting. I remember it falling down. I need to pick it up. Okay. Red. Okay, now I can smell the apples. I'm glad I didn't get too far down the way before I discovered that. No, that's the green. The yellow. And the purple. Okay, so I just stopped at the green, so we're back at the start of the rotation. So, yeah. Red. Now it's starting to stiffen the way it's supposed to. Then yellow. Then green. Red. Now you see how the color is beveling? That's what's making the stripe. Then yellow. Then green. And you're always trying to get the stripe right on top of the last stripe. Doesn't always work, but best to do. And it'll still come out looking amazing. Red. Then yellow. Then green. Now we're going to add the purple. And I poured a lot of purple, so it's going to be more than one purple stripe in this tiger stripe, but yeah. Now we go back to red. Then yellow. Then green. Make sure you connect the ends. So even if it womps out, at least you got it all the way to the edge. And the sides always get cut off anyway when you cut the soap, so the womp womp won't show. Red. If that makes sense. Every now and then I repeat myself twice. I don't know why I do that. I think it might be a throwback from the stroke, but I'm not sure. Especially happens late when the aphasia kicks in. Somebody say, how you doing? I go, I'm fine. And I'm aware that I'm doing it. I just can't seem to stop doing it. I don't understand. Okay. Then red. Then yellow. Now that it's thicker, it's easier to get the straight line because it's not trying to, dissipate everywhere. It's just going where I pour it now. And I got it resting on the mold, so I'm getting a basic straight line. Then red. Come out of there. Okay. Then yellow. I poured that too fast. Then green. go ahead and add a little bit more purple. That's starting to thicken up a little. Okay. I'm gonna put on some new gloves. Okay. Then red. Then yellow. Then green. Man, that smells amazing. Now all I smell is the apple orchard. I don't smell any trace of the ice gingerbread man. Then green. Then purple, which is starting to thicken very quickly, but that's all right. My glasses are about to fall off my face. There. Come on, purple, be a trooper. Okay. Halfway there. Now you notice the soap is getting thicker. So for every time we pour it, it's making the center bevel in. That's how you get the pattern. Okay, red. Then yellow, which is just gotten away from me. Then green. Well, that stir kind of loosened it up a little. But that's okay. A little slap, get that right back in shape. Oh, let me move this out the way. Then we continue with the red. Come on, red. Come through, come through. Okay, red's having an issue. Okay, red. Now you notice the swirl kind of moved over, so the new colors is going to move over with it. That way the stripe remains as a stripe and stays intact. Okay, then green. Then red. Come on, red. Come out of there. You can do it. Red's thickening up on me. Okay, there we go. Red's also becoming very thicker in the middle. That didn't, wow, that was not linguistically correct. Okay. Then yellow. That's the last of the green, I do believe. So that means it's time to add a little purple. Purple is thick. Let's loosen that up a little. Come on, time to play nicely with others. Come on, purple, you can do it. Come through, purple. Wow. Purple really came through. Yeah. He came through like a champ. Come on. There we go. This will probably be the last of the red. Come on, red. Come on, red. Hold up. Red is no longer trying to play nice with others. That's going to be frosting. Okay, yellow, how are you doing, kid? You coming out of there? You gonna play nice? Yeah, I know I could count on yellow. Okay, that's gonna be frosting. And then the last of the green. It ain't trying to move. So we'll scoop it on. Green. Come on, green, be a train. Alicia pooped out at the top of the mode. So that means the last little bit is going to be decoration. But I just made a mess. Okay. I meant to change gloves so that way the raw soap didn't basically permeate and dissolve through the gloves, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'm just going to get the soap on here. Nope. I definitely need to change out gloves. Be right back. Aside from making dishwater before I started, I also ran the tub with nice hot water so I could take a bath after. Don't you hate when you try to put on new gloves and they're sticky because your hands are sweaty or too dry or some combination between? Come on, you. goodness, I got a soap that's trying to accelerate. Come on. Come on. Go through. Go through. There we go. Now, we were on the scooping of the red. This is threatening to need an overflow mode, but we're not going to worry about it. So overflow at this point would be 1 bar. There we go. And then comes the red. We did red. Comes the yellow. Jeez, I'm glad I changed gloves. Might have to do it again. We could put that over here. Green. And since I poured too much purple, the entire top is probably going to have some mass purple in it. Especially around the edges. Trying to get the purple directly through the center, since it's the arbitrary stripe. I just had an idea how I could do that. There we go. Now we're just gonna wiggle that in. Okay. This is gonna be a whole new bar as an overflow. So I guess that'll be my take home. That edged perfectly. Now, we're just gonna give it a little slam. That's done. Okay, okay. Small overflow mode. Where I got one over here. Okay. Oh, you can't see that. products now. Now all of the soap that will fit is going in here. It's already starting to thicken up, so we gotta work quickly. I knew I mixed too much purple. But that's okay, a purple apple. I ain't mad at it. Actually, it's gonna make 2 bars. I would have called this the purple apple. Okay. Now my back is all tight. But I'm at the point where cannot stop at all for no reason. Which is why you always eat before you soap. You make sure you got enough sleep before you soap. You make sure your kidneys are clear and other things are clear before you soap. Because when you get to this point, you can't stop. And if your body wants to say, hey, remember me on certain functions? Yeah, I remember you, but what? You gotta wait. Okay. Let's take some of this and put over here too. And you can see some of that blue violet. Purple doesn't always stay purple. These double batches are killing my back. I think I'll go back to doing single batches. And if something needs to be a double batch, I'll just make a single batch one day, a single batch the next day, and still yield the same amount, just in sections, if that makes sense. Yeah. That tiger stripe came out near perfect. I mean, the beginning was a little wonky, but yeah, I can't wait to cut this thing open to see what it's going to look like on the inside. Let's see if I get this little bit of green. Yeah. It really doesn't matter what these look like. These are going to be the personal bars. Because basically it's just the overflow. But even with a personal bar, I still want to look somewhat nice. You know. Because that represents me to me. If that makes sense. Okay. Any yellow gonna fit? Very little. The yellow says see ya. I won't want to be ya. But we're gonna scrape what we can and get it in there. There we go. So yellow is completely exhausted. Green. Is completely exhausted. Red is done. Yeah, there's nothing left of the red. Completely exhausted. And there's nothing left in this purple. So let's see if I can get some kind of a swirl going in these two. Wow, this battery had a lot on it. Now, and that's my half barrel mode. So say for instance, didn't get enough in either, to fill it up, no problem. You just fold it in half and you end up with a round barrel-shaped soap. Someone gave this to me as a gift because they wanted a soap that was shaped like that. And it said, use this mode and then whatever's left, you get to keep the mode. I was like, yeah, duh. Flanker. And about the only thing I use it for, other than that person's soap that they order once every other year, is the overflow. Okay. Now these all get to go in the wash. Gotta rearrange it so that way it fits in the sink hole. You always have one or two that just don't fit in no matter what you do. Alrighty then. We need to also take this. Whew. That was a day's work. Now let's take you down for pictures. See the Ice Gingerbread Man? All the soap that was plain, that didn't quite get mixed in, is white. It's going to look like frosting. It may or may not be a swirl through the center. It's set up. That is solid now. This is the Apple Orchard Tiger Stripe Swirl with arbitrary purple, and that's the overflow. And this is People7 on Twitter and YouTube, People elsewhere on the internet. My soaps located at PurpleButterfly-soaps.myshopify.com, my blog, PurpleButterfly-people.blogspot.com. Yeah. Y'all stay blessed and stay tuned. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye now. That's the overflow of the Apple Orchard Tiger Stripe Swirl. The colors are red, yellow, green, and an arbitrary purple. Yeah, there's no such thing as a purple apple, but I'm going to call this a purple apple. And that is the iced gingerbread man that seized up on me. Don't know how impressive it's going to look, but it smells amazing. Yep, yeah. And that's what I did today.